Hey there, YouTubers. Well, not a happy Monday in Packer Nation. Packers drop a third game in a row and do it in fine form, to be tongue-in-cheek about it, to be honest, right off the bat. We go in and out of this issue, talk about it from top to bottom, a lot of comments, a lot of question marks, a lot of suggestions as to what the Packers can do or who the Packers should bring in, and of course, a lot of talk of the possibility of the end of the McCarthy era in Packer Nation. So I hope you will join us and throw in some comments if you have them. Good Packer Nation morning. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, I just laid an egg in front of everybody. Kind of like the Packers. Jump on, folks. It's Monday after another third in a row loss by the Packers, finding a way to not only lose, but to lose in style this time. They did just about everything wrong that you could do wrong. And I think I said earlier, hover your fingers over the angry face and let me know how you're feeling right now. This may not be the most positive podcast in the world, and I think we can all feel it coming, right? Yeah. Let me know how you're feeling out there right now. Just emoji me your feelings. We got Mike from Winnipeg. Wayne is here. Jennifer, good morning. Linda is here, just throwing up her hands. Greg, good to see you, buddy. Atreyu is here, and Tim. And Peter Vargas is here. Does the Packers need Cafe Loreno? Yes, they need something. I don't even know. I mean, it's beautiful stuff. It's miraculous stuff. So maybe it will be enough. I don't know. Sean is here. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I think that this Packers team did just about everything I can think of that you can possibly do wrong in a game. Suck against the run, give up points on the first play from scrimmage, throw too many interceptions, not be able to produce enough points. Defense is a sieve, too many penalties. It just goes on and on. Mike's mentioning the turnovers. John, all right. And John is saying, let's not sugarcoat anything here. And I am at that point, like, because, and again, it's not, you're not ever going to find me giving up. I refuse to do so because I'm a Packer fan. However, yesterday afternoon's performance made me want to give up. Even though I refused to do so, it tested my mettle. And if it's testing your mettle, go ahead and hit that angry face or that sad face right on. We just need to let it out. We just need to let it out. Sconnelly, what is happening? Andy is here. What happened to our game plan from the Bears game? I think we need, we can't even beat bad teams right now because, and me and my buddy Rick were going back and forth on this one because I was maintaining that we were a mediocre team, not a bad team. Yesterday, we were a bad team. We were a low-rate university school. We were just not good. And there's no way, like we said, you can't sugarcoat this at this point. This is a team that can't win at home against a bad team, goes on the road, and we said this all week. The Titans are not as bad. They're not as bad as their record from last year, but they are not as good as we made them out to be yesterday either. Give me a thumbs up. Heart me if you agree. Because I said this Tennessee Titans team was not going to roll over for us, but they were not as good as we made them yesterday. Am I right or am I right? Good freaking Lord out there. Mondays we play Love It or Leave It. Today we're just going to play Leave It or Leave It. I didn't write a list. You don't need a list. All you have to do is circle any play from scrimmage by our offense or any play by our defense when their offense was on the field. And it's leave it or leave it. I'll leave all of it. I propose hiring the squirrel as our head coach. Anybody got any love for the squirrel out there as head coach for the Green Bay Packers? I don't think it could get any worse. At least he'd bring a little fire. Squirrel for head coach, folks. The guy, he shows a little drive. He's got a little fire in his bones. Maybe he'll bring some to this absolutely dead Packers team. And the offense showed a little spark. They showed they could move the ball from time to time, but still can't even come close, sniff 30 points after we give up 40 plus. Mike's saying fire Ted first of all. There's the thinking out there. These things tend to happen from the top down. And there's the thinking out there that the coaches are upset because Ted Thompson isn't giving them any talent. And the players are upset at the coaches because they can't put together a winning game plan. And the players would be broken down into the veteran players and then the young players too, who are trying to make, still trying to make their nut, frankly, in this league. Trey, there is no fire on this team, period. Yeah, there's one fire that should be on this team, and that's the kind where somebody gets shown the door. All right, folks. Let's talk about the bright spot. Since we didn't have the Squirrel to look to as a leader, as the fire, the true champion out on the field, we didn't have the Squirrel. We have to mention Davante Adams, who had a fantastic day. It wasn't enough. Jordy Nelson had a nice game. Aaron Rodgers wasn't trying to force the ball to him every single time he dropped back. He would have had a really good day. But Davante has quietly had, and basically it's part and parcel of the fact that teams don't have, what they have to do is they have to worry about Jordy. They have to worry about Cobb. Davante, as the third, is doing a good job, but he's basically doing that because teams have to take care of other business. And once they do that, they know the Packers aren't going to score enough. Davante Adams ain't going to score enough for us to beat anybody out there. But congratulations, had a great game. Where do we find our inner squirrel, folks? That's what I want to know. How do you find your inner squirrel in times like this? Hector is here. Brown is here. Linda got rid of the ball. Yes, and we saw that this offense was productive, and this is what I said we needed to do. The game plan was get the ball out early. Go to the no huddle against the Titans. We saw it. It was effective. It wasn't enough to offset the absolutely and utterly, start to finish, top to bottom, embarrassment of a defensive effort in this game. There was no effort on the defense. I don't know where to begin. Wow. All right, man, I tell you what. Okay, so here's I might as well circle a stat or two. Aaron Rodgers, 31 of 51 for 371 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Marcus Mariota, 19 of 26, 295 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. This is Marcus Mariota, who had a propensity for doing 2 things, throwing interceptions and putting the ball on the carpet, and we couldn't get a single one out of him. DeMarco Murray, just hand him the ball and he scores. I mean, give me a break. It's the first play from scrimmage, for crying out loud. Capers has got to go. I'm sure there are some out there that are going to thumbs up that one. I'm going to agree. Our defense is horrendous. Yeah, our defense had been, last year our defense sort of held its own, kept us in games when our offense did nothing. Early in the season, our defense, was giving up, we were giving up yardage. But we've fallen apart from start to finish and top to bottom, all 3 facets of this game. We can't even catch a freaking punt, for crying out loud. However, I believe, I'm not going to get into that. Okay, well, no, I am going to get into this, all right? Because I want your opinion on this. Is it just me, or is Jeff Triplett the worst freaking ref on the planet? And his crews just follow in his stupidity. He doesn't know the numbers of the players he's talking about. He doesn't know what calls coaches are even able to make in this game. And don't get mad don't say that I'm blaming this loss on the refs, because we would have lost this game if we had been playing, UW River Falls, we would have lost this game. If we were playing if we were playing my hometown high school team, go BRF Tigers could have kicked the living snot out of this Packers team the way they're playing. Oh my word. And we've got talk of, all the injuries we have, and we've got this week, you heard in no uncertain terms, you hardly had to read between the lines. I frequently do it, but Mike McCarthy was basically blaming it on the injuries. But there's no excuse for this kind of play. If you are out there and you are getting paid to play football, you should be doing better than this. Again, Packer Nation, the most fiery player we've seen is a squirrel in the last 3 games. So Zach's saying, what about Sam Shields? I don't think he'll ever suit up as a Packer again. He's going to be, we've got these 2 guys on IR that we can bring back, but, you got to think we're going to bring back Eddie Lacy because Shields, if you want to talk about depth on our team, we have a whole lot more depth at cornerback than we do at running back. We only carry 2 backs. Now we've had this revolving door for fill-ins. So realistically, you've got to think, we need Eddie Lacy back, but oh my gosh. How bad is our defensive backfield right now? All teams have to do is get the ball out fast, and they will destroy us. Wow. It was funny because, I predicted this team to me and my buddy LB and a lot of you guys. We thought this team could bounce back because Aaron Rodgers is a good bounce-back quarterback, right? And he had a relative good game. I mean, other than, you can't turn the ball over. But, they were able to move the ball quite quickly and scored a couple touchdowns. And James Starks coming in provided a little bit of a spark. They weren't able to stick with the run because the entire scheme of this offense went away by the time, by the second series of the game. Okay, so Joe Thomas gives us a nice gift, does a great job out there. The Titans come out. They know they got to provide a spark. So they come out and onside kick, the opening kickoff. Joe Thomas catches it away from the body, turns his back to the oncoming defenders. And out there somewhere, Brandon Bostic, after getting off work at Lowe's, was watching this game and went, oh, that's what you do. So Thomas gives us this gift, and all we can do is 3 and out and punt. Are you kidding me? And it was just like a slippery slope from there. I mean, it was all downhill because then the minute they walk out on the field, DeMarco Murray, and you could see how slow this guy was even out there, and we can't even lay a finger on him. Not one Packer player could lay a finger on him. So this was, I don't honestly, guys, and I'm a Packer fan start to finish. I am a die never fan. I will be rooting for this team next week, just like I rooted for them last, but this was embarrassing. I don't think I've seen an embarrassing performance like this since the 80s, to be quite honest. And I didn't even know anything about football back then. So, wow. All right, we got a comment stream. I'm going to let you guys just roll up your thoughts. Rogers, we're doing the best with what we have. And then, again, you've got to, it's a good point because for crying out loud, not only are we decimated with injury on both sides of the ball, we have a wide receiver at running back. Are you kidding me? We finally get Starks back. That's the one bright spot. Then we lose Lang, and Lang, it doesn't look good. We lose Bakhtiari. And so now we've already lost Treader. So now our line, just like last year, our line was absolutely fell apart just by injury. So on top of all the injuries that we had, we have more. Now the question is raised, and it's not like the strength and conditioning staff can go out there and stop these guys from getting rolled up on. But now we've got the question being asked and several comments rolling by. So we got to clean house in terms of strength and conditioning. And John says, Lang, dang. It's just not even. I gotta, seriously, I gotta feel for this team. All right, put up a heart right now. If some part of you, even I'm not making excuses, but put up a heart right now if you feel for this team, because they just can't find it. The team doesn't even. It's been weeks that the coaching staff even believes that they can right this ship. I've said this for weeks. The players, they still believe in each other, man. These guys in the locker room are trying to prop each other up. They're trying to find ways to win. They don't even believe they can do it anymore, I don't think. And we needed to have, like last year, we had a come to Jesus moment before, I think, the Detroit game. We needed to have that. Apparently, we didn't have it. We better have it this week. So yeah, if you feel for these guys, I feel for them. It's tough, man. If you've been on a team that just isn't good enough, that the coaching staff isn't putting up a good enough game plan, the injury situation is horrible. The good players you have are not playing up to speed. Andrew says, it's all good, bro. I like your attitude, man. I like your attitude on a Monday morning. But it's not all good. It's really not. It's really not. However, it's not all over. Vikings lost to the Washington Redskins. We're going to lose to the Redskins. Give me a break. But the Vikings lost again. But now we got 2 more games on the road. We got to play NFC East. We're going to follow up with Washington. Then we got to play Philadelphia. Holy smokes. And I'm sorry I missed your name, but the comment came across. A good thing we're not playing the Browns. We'd give them their first win. Ouch. And the thing is, there's a little bit of truth to every joke, and there's way too much truth in these. Johnny is saying relax. Oh, my gosh. If anyone on the Packers team is buying that line right now, they should be fired immediately. It's not time to relax at all. We are a sub-500 team. We can't win at Lambeau. We've got some tough teams coming up that are looking for a playoff spot, and now think about the opportunity that we had. Now, the Seahawks ended up holding off a last-minute drive, I guess, against the Patriots. But the Vikings go down again. We could have been floating right on top if we had just righted this ship. But not only did we not right it, but we really, really headed the wrong direction. And Virginia is like me. And Aaron Rodgers has been sick of hearing relax for a long, long time. There is no talk of that among the coaching staff. There is no talk of that. Aaron Rodgers, you aren't going to hear him say that ever again. He knows what the situation is, and we got to get some things changed. And Maurice is mentioning, look on the bright side. All right, Maurice, glass half full, because we're still only one game. But again, the thing is that bothers me a little bit is it's not just that we gave up the opportunity to get right where we need to, and we've done this. We've lost 3 in a row, folks. But the thing is, we did it in brilliantly bad fashion. They just played a terrible game. So had we not, let's say we squeaked out a win against the Colts. We lost this game in this fashion. I would think that, from time to time, teams just have a terrible game. But this team they've been trending in this direction. They've been knocking on the door of having somebody just steamroll them for a long time. And they got steamrolled. We were able to score some points when all was said and done, but this team got beat in every facet of the game. There isn't a person out there that can legitimately argue that we didn't get beat in every single facet of this game. So this is a problem, and you have to be if you're playing pro football, you're getting paid this kind of money. You got to be realistic about the situation where your team is. Now, realistic requires me to say, hey, we're not out of the race right now. But it also requires me to be honest. Look, now we've lost a couple more players in the mix. And holy smokes, Gordon, we're not at full strength. We are absolutely not. Before this game, we had a little bit of positivity because we saw Starks coming back. Starks had a little quiet. It was a quieter game, but he had the touchdown, a nice run on the touchdown. And I wasn't high on Starks because I didn't think he was going to give us much of a spark, but I did maintain we needed a traditional running back at some point in this season. And he gave us that as until about the second half where we just had to completely abandon. And McCarthy mentioned this. We were off our, we couldn't, we were out of our own scheme by the second half of this game. All of our coaches are garbage, says Jerry. Zook, oh man, don't even get me started, all right? And yeah, here's the thing. I was just waiting to hear the party line again, how, we're going to get better. We know we need to correct things and we're going to do it. We haven't done it. And this time, McCarthy actually had the audacity to use the term win, that we've got to win a game. What we're going to do is win a game. We're going to go out and beat Washington. Prove it time. It's prove it time. So here's the thing. This is the one thing. Ty Montgomery, says Nick, who another player that you just can't give enough credit to out there, doing the best he can, but it's just not enough, Rick says McCarthy has lost the team. It's run its course. I'm tending to agree, and I've been towing this line ever since I saw, you look at the personnel that we're able to, even with the injuries, the personnel that we're able to put on the field should be able to play a better game than we played against the Tennessee Titans. Jan says season's not over, but if we continue this trend, this is a pretty realistic, you all can see Jan's comment. If we continue this trend, it's, you got to do something. And to his credit, Aaron Rodgers said this. He said, we got to look inside, folks. I completely agree. I liked Aaron Rodgers' take on this as much as anybody because he went out there and, he did some good things, did some bad things, but he didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't push the blame elsewhere. He didn't say, well, we have too many injured players. And he didn't even blame the defense. And he did not blame the defense. And the defense played a freaking hole, for crying out loud. He basically said, our offense, we started slow, and that's to his credit to say that. That's what I wanted to hear out of a guy that just went out there and got beat. Anthony says we might get in at 7-9. Fortunately, we are in the NFC North, where no team has proven themselves to be anything. Right now, it looks like the Detroit Lions are about the most consistent team out there. Rally the troops. Oh boy. So this is a team that is in trouble. They're in trouble because you look at the schedule that's remaining. You got your NFC, you got your Washington, you got your Eagles, you got your Seahawks who are playing now. Now the Seahawks are playing for a home game in the playoffs. I got to be at that game. And right now, what am I supposed to say? That we're going to beat the Seahawks? At home, Lambeau Field has no magic for this team somehow. Sad to say, because it is one of the most awesome places to go to. But our team can't win at home. And then we play NFC North, NFC North, NFC North to close out the season, with the Texans in between, who are also playing for a playoff berth. Josh has us at 4-12 at the end of the season. We've dropped 3 in a row. We can't seem to pull. This was a cluster cuss. I'm sorry. There is, frankly, I want to drop an F-bomb on this performance. It was egregious. It was atrocious. There is no other way. Megan says, good morning, and it's a sad day. It is sad. It's sad because, we should be playing better than this. And we got Pohaku. What a cool name, from Hawaii. Awesome. Glad to have you. I wish it was under better circumstances, my friend. Packer Nation's not happy right now. All is not lost yet, but boy, it's hard to believe that the coaching staff is going to be able to turn this around. Now you've got the injury situation on top of the fact that the players just at some point, you start to lose confidence in yourself. So it is difficult. It is difficult. A lot of angst out there. I don't know. And frankly, there's all kinds of stuff we can talk about as far as what went wrong. Colonel Johnny is out there. He ain't happy at all. Internal problems. Mike lost the team. Time for him to say goodbye. Give me a thumbs up right now if you are for an early exit by Mike McCarthy before the season's over. Hold off. I'll get some other. We'll go through it. So if you're not for that, just hold off. I see the thumbs up are coming through. There's some people not happy at all with Mike McCarthy, and I'm one of them. I've at some. Here's the thing. One of the things that bothers me when the refs make crappy calls, McCarthy doesn't even have the fire to get mad out there. He basically somewhat demands an explanation and then walks away. It just. His demeanor, I made this comment, and I hate that I even said this out loud, but Jonas here, I was like, I hate to say it, but Jim Harbaugh would have at least stood up for his players better than this when these calls come down. I mean, for crying out loud, Ha-Ha Clinton-Dix gets, what a joke. Jeff Triplett, I cringe every time his crew is the ref for us. He is awful beyond description. And again, I'm not saying he's the reason we lost. We lost because we're a terrible team. Well, we lost because we played a terrible game. Okay, so a lot of folks are ready for McCarthy. Let's just get it done right now. My problem with that, this is what I mentioned before, and I'm going to hold my ground on that, because all we're going to do then is promote from within, which means next year we have an even worse season, which gives us a great draft pick that we then waste on somebody else. Because how many out there believe Ted Thompson needs to go? Give me a thumbs up now. Anthony is making a good comment. Give me your thumbs up if you think the problem is Ted Thompson. He needs to go. We don't have enough talent. But Anthony is making a comment that I want to highlight. He said the only fire we saw was in that fight. And this is the reason I want to call out Davante Adams as the hero, not the zero. Everyone else on this team is a zero today in my book. But Davante, when Aaron Rodgers got hit in there, he did not hesitate, but he went straight after the man and got in his face. And frankly, frankly, the call on that was so freaking random as well. It went our way, thank goodness, whatever. But Triplett should have just left the flag in his pocket. The players on the field in that situation did a better job of keeping things under wraps and manning up and figuring things out themselves than Triplett did reffing this game. Because they got in there, Davante Adams went straight at him. By the time it was done, though, they were tapping each other on the hand. They were like, hey, we understand. I understand where you're coming from. You understand where I'm coming from. Let's go back. Let's play some more football. They did a better job than Triplett did in this game. And so I'm for, Davante Adams, you can't help but give the guy, in the midst of a team that just seems to be falling apart around his ears. He had a good game. He was getting open. And he was out there with some fire, ready to defend his quarterback. So, draft and develop isn't working for us anymore, Virginia says. Who agrees with Virginia that draft and develop isn't working? You can give a thumbs up right now. I think draft and develop, needs to be balanced, but I think it's kind of where you have to focus to some extent. But I agree. We need to do more than just draft and develop. Thomas says, time to clean house, new coaching staff. Season is over and a joke. If I'm looking long, you can look at this. You can look at the record, and the season isn't over in terms of record. But I totally understand the statement, because who are we going to beat? We're not going to beat. Number one, are we going to beat anybody that we've got to play the rest of this season? Not unless we have some kind of miraculous turnaround. And number two, if because the NFC North sucks so bad, mathematically we are far from eliminated from the playoff contention. Who in the playoffs are we going to beat? Because number one, we ain't going to be a 1 or 2 seed. We're not playing a home game. We're going to be playing a good team. We have yet to beat a single decent team out there. We can't even beat the bad ones now. We can't beat the Colts. We can't sack Andrew Luck, for crying out loud. Tennessee Titans, I've said it and I'll maintain it. They are not a bad team, but they're nowhere near as good as we made them look. So, holy smokes. It's an issue. And Atreyu is mentioning this is correct. Reggie White wasn't draft and develop. You have to go out and get somebody. And I've said this from the beginning. I talked to my buddy Rick about this. I don't think Ted Thompson can get deals done, period. I don't think that he's not trying. Nobody takes him serious. He isn't willing to give up enough to get a good player in, which we need. We are at least one player short. Nobody out there takes him seriously. When he calls on the phone, they're just laughing. I mean, they're doing other stuff, man. They're hitting that conference call button, and they're watching a little game film while they talk to Ted Thompson, because Ted Thompson isn't willing to give. He has the reputation of being tightwad Ted. So they know he's not going to give him up. They basically just smile and nod and take deal. Then there's never a deal on the table for this guy. We got Peppers because the Bears didn't want him. We got Peppers because the Bears, they couldn't afford it. It was too much money at the time. Ted Thompson is not treated, he is talked about with respect because, and I'm not going to take away from him the fact that with all the players that we have that are drafted, we're a couple free agents short of being an unbelievable team, a perennial. We're a perennial playoff team until this year. But we're not a perennial contender for a Super Bowl. So we are definitely, we definitely need to go out and make a splash. And it's going to cost money. Hello? Only thing we're interested in spending money on is this Titletown district. It's going to be really nifty, but there ain't going to be no wins to cheer for in Titletown. And there certainly ain't going to be no titles if we keep playing this way. So what can we do to change it? All right? Time to pick up Lynch. I don't think Lynch is one of those guys, This is the thing. And I love the comment, David, but he's one of those guys. It's like wanting to hire John Gruden as the head coach. They're not interested. And they're going to become less and less interested, I think, in the Green Bay Packers. This is sad. This could be I hate to say it, but this could be the beginning of a reversion back to the 80s, because as soon as you start firing coaches, you got to replace them. And we saw the string of coaches back in the day. Even our 5-time champion quarterback couldn't come in and right that ship at the time. Bart Starr couldn't come in and coach us back to any kind of respectability. So it's a tough situation. It's one, guys, I know after a loss like this, it's very easy to say, fire him, fire them. But you got to take that statement with the utmost seriousness, because it's a serious shakeup to the team. So what can we do? Well, yeah, okay. Obviously, I mean, I don't think anybody's going anywhere mid-season. So Jan says the season is a joke. It really is turning into that. This game was an absolute comedy of errors. And if you understand Greco-Roman culture, comedy could be very not funny at all. This is the kind of comedy that is not funny at all. Not funny at all. All right, so John, I don't know, and this is a lot. You can get rid of a coach mid-season, but who are you going to replace him with? That's not going to help. Because a lot of these players, they like McCarthy, because McCarthy has given the players more sort of their own identity on this team. You can't change the injury situation. I mean, that just is going to be what it is. Colonel Johnny, this is what I mentioned earlier. I don't know if you were here, but I think my high school team, good old BRF Tigers, could have beat this. Could have gone out and given the Green Bay Packers all they could do in this game. So we will see. Here's the thing, all right? So obviously, first things first, you have to focus on one game. You have to focus on the Washington game. This is an away game. This is a long road stretch. What you have to do, you have to feed off. You have to find a way. We saw Mike Daniels was ticked off after the Colts game and came out in this game, and all he could do was commit penalties, it seemed like. There was little fire in Daniels this time around. You have to feed off the criticism. You have to start getting pissed, especially on the defense. On the offense, you can't afford quite as much to just get angry out there. We need to, here's the number one priority for our team. Okay. It depends on what the coin toss does, because if we lose the coin toss and defer, our defense has to find a way to do something other than, or our special teams give up a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage that we've had. It took 13 seconds last time. I don't know how long it took this time. But that's job one. If we put our defense on the field, do something other than give up a freaking touchdown in the first half a minute of play. This is a start. I mean, it's baby steps, folks. And it's time for Captain Obvious to step out of the closet and say, you can't put a defense or a special teams out there that gives up a touchdown inside half a minute of the game. Coin toss, touchdown. What the? And on offense, we can't stall out like we did. It's and Randall Cobb was wide open for a touchdown. I mean, touchdown. He was wide open for a first down, excuse me. And the ball was badly thrown. So, number one, we need to mix in a little more traditional run in this and not have to rely on Aaron Rodgers all the time, all right? However, when we saw James Starks in the traditional run, there wasn't a whole lot going on. And then very quickly, we had to go away from it. So frankly, I'm starting to get this feeling, and you can thumbs up if you agree, I get this feeling that our offense is the only success we're going to have is just slinging the ball around at this point. And Dale's asking, who's at fault for not having the team ready? And I've been pointing to this is a systemic problem because the troubles are moving around. It's not just one player. Aaron Rodgers will have a few errant passes, but then he'll have some are on the money and we don't catch him. The defense will play, great against the run and then let DeMarco Murray just waltz into the end zone from 280 yards out. I mean, for crying out loud. It's moving around, which tells me the problem is systemic, which then begins to point to the coaching staff not being able to get this team ready. Now, these are pro players, so to some extent, these guys got to get themselves ready. There's no excuse. Because I have said there have been enough good calls called out on the field for this offense to score more points than they've been doing. But this is a problem that's all over the place and it moves around. If you're in manufacturing or if you're managing a manufacturing plant, what you're going to do is you're going to ask your 5 whys. You're going to do your root cause analysis. And the problem with root cause analysis is if it pertains to something concrete like a machine or something, a part or a structural integrity of something, then you can get down to one root cause. It's much easier. This is a team of very complicated machines out on the field that have psyches and they have physical bodies that can get injured. I would love to just say that we could just nail this down to the one problem, then you fix that problem, and the clouds are going to part, the sun is going to shine down on the faces of all in Packer Nation, and it's all going to be okay. But that's not what we got going on here. That's the problem. We need to get more out of our running game. We need Aaron Rodgers, not to throw behind Randall Cobb. And then we need, Randall Cobb to catch the balls. He had a decent game. We need our defense to be consistent. We need our pass rush to get there. Some people are saying, well, our pass rush isn't getting there, so that's why teams are throwing all over us. Others, you can look at it, though, that these teams are not. All they're doing is getting the ball out, and they beat the pass rush automatically. Well, every defensive coordinator on the planet knows that if I'm going to bring a pass rush, I can throw over that pass rush if I can make my reads. And if the cornerbacks and safeties can't cover anybody, how is the pass rush supposed to get there in 2.5 seconds? It just doesn't happen that way. And Peterson, players got to execute. They're the one that walk out on the field and play these plays. The plays, there are only so many plays in football, really. Realistically, they're all variations of the same stuff. You're either running it or you're throwing it. You're either... Did anybody else notice that this defense can't tackle to save their lives right now? Anybody out there notice during this game that our defense could not tackle to save their lives in this game? It's fundamental to the sport. They've been, these players have learned how to do it since the first time they took off the little yellow flags and put on shoulder pads and helmets, that this is how you tackle. And then from the other side of it, you look at how can a coaching staff not be out there pulling somebody aside. That's the one thing, and I got to give a shout out to Randall Cobb because I've been a little bit negative, about that. But Randall Cobb pulled his guys aside and says, this is not okay. And he provided a bit of a spark. On defense, we saw nothing of the kind. Tackling too high. Thank you, Chris. And Jonah commented this. Did we not hear Clinton Dix just say last week that he missed the one play he cared about was that he tried to tackle Andrew Luck too high. We could have won that game. And that he wasn't going to tackle too high anymore. And how many tackles did Clinton Dix make in this game around the shoulder pads? Defense fell asleep. Yeah, it was a sleepwalking game out there. Treyu's calling for some fundamentals, guys, right? I hate to say it. But frankly, and I know they're coaching these guys, and the reason they're coaching them is because of the concussion protocol. They're coaching these guys to tackle with their head on the backside of a tackle now. It's a horrible way to tackle. It's ineffective, and it sucks. And honestly, I don't care what the coach is. I don't care in a game like this. I am going to start to drill some people. I'm going to start tackling the way I should tackle. And heck, frankly, I would rather get knocked out of this game than look like a freaking moron who doesn't know what he's doing out on the field. And that is what our defense looked like. So forgive me if that's negative, but that is how I feel, man. I can't imagine not having more pride in that. I can't imagine not having more pride than that. I would change my tackling form. I would go against what the coaches are telling me to do. Save yourself. You can rehab a shoulder better than you can rehab a knee to the head. It's dangerous to tackle that way because guys are so strong. Well, guess what? This is a collision sport. This is a dangerous sport. And if I'm getting embarrassed, man, have some pride. Mike says we can't tackle any worse. And it's agreed, man. I'm glad I'm not the only one that noticed it because, this team has from time to time, and we've had days where we've made some good sticks. Joe Thomas has had some good sticks in some games. Clinton Dix, who in fairness, has had some real good sticks. I really like him. I love him as a player. He was a leader. He was the one that did the locker room speech or whatever. But it didn't work. It didn't work. And when you go out and you tackle like that, I don't even call it tackling. I can't call that tackling. All right, what draft pick will we get if we lose out? It doesn't matter, really. Does it matter if we get a high draft pick? What are we going to get? Another A.J. Hawk? We picked him number 5. We can't find it. And this is what I can't take it away from Ted Thompson that he finds gems in places. He finds good players. Look at Sam Shields, some of these guys that he finds. But if he would just continue to find those guys, but then make a trade to get us another good player. Get a J.J. Watt. Can you imagine what this team would be if we had made a move and instead of having, say, a B.J. Raji type or a Dayton Jones type or a Perry type, we had a J.J. Watt type right now? Or as much as I hate to say it, no, never mind. There are great players out there, and you can. And I know being a GM is a tough game to play. But you can only live on what we're doing for so long. At some point, you got to do better than Kenny Clark for your first pick. I mean, nothing against Kenny. But most people had him as a second rounder, and they were right. Sometimes, you can't go conservative. A.J. Hawk, he had hit his ceiling before he ever got into the league. J.J. Watt, on the other hand, when he took this league by storm. We got more people calling for Lynch. Again, my only thing is I don't think we can, I think he's enjoying his Skittles on a beach somewhere and playing rugby in Australia there with Jared. Jared probably tackled him a time or two out there. Hurt him up. So we need to swing for the fences. Heart me if you agree that at some point we're going to have to swing for the fences. Because Aaron Rodgers' clock is ticking. He's been shown. Teams know what to do to contain Aaron Rodgers. Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, they're not spring chickens anymore. Restructure Rodgers' contract and spend a little money. Swing for the fences, yeah. I mean, I think the mark of a great GM is knowing how and when to do exactly that. Any GM can play the management game and hope. And Thompson, to his credit, has found some real gems. But Thompson is no wolf. And we need a wolf. We need a wolf in the literal and the figurative sense. We need somebody that's going to go out and hunt down the big dog. He's going to find the moose out there. And he's going to bring him home for us. And I'm mixing way too many metaphors with swing for the fences and the wolf hunting down his quarry and blah, blah, blah. But you know what I'm saying, because this is where we're at. We can't think of enough ways to say this. You find the guy, you find the Brett Favre, you find the Reggie White, and you bring them home to the Green Bay Packers. So is anybody out there, give me a little love for Elliott Wolf out there. Is anybody out there for a change of, at the very top of almost the very top of the organization? And Billy's on here. Billy, what do you think of Elliott there? But we got a lot of love. Let the young guy get in there. And again, it's not that it comes without its risk, because, you blow a few, we've got a team that is steadily in that, maybe outside looking in, playoffs, but probably no real shot at Super Bowl kind of a team right now is basically what we have. But a lot of teams, just think how many teams would be glad to have that right now. Half the teams out there would probably be glad to be out there. Mike's saying don't give up on Aaron. No, we won't. I think I think Aaron has improved his game. I think he's stepped up a little bit. Doesn't mean he hasn't missed a pass or two, but every quarterback does that. I think I got to give Aaron some credit. I got to give, Devontae Adams some credit. I'd like to think we could score a little more than we did, but that our defense put them up against the wall from start to finish. Johnny says the Ted and Mike show should be canceled. Yeah. And we got some love out there for Aaron Rodgers, and I think that's to his credit. He was not having early in the season. He looked a lot like last year, just misfiring. trying all the time to extend plays, wasn't trusting his receivers, I didn't think. A lot of times our receivers had been having some trouble getting open, but Davante Adams right now is coming on strong. And if Davante Adams continues to do that, then teams are going to have to pay more attention to Davante Adams, and that just means Jordy Nelson is going to be taking some to the house. Randall Cobb is going to be open more. So it's going to be interesting, because I do think that if you look at the points that this team is able to score, I think we're going to be able to score some points on some teams. And if we get healthier, maybe we get Cook back this week, I think we're going to have a chance to score some points. But again, we're stalling at all the wrong times. We're unable to do it when we really know. This is a team that could have gone out there. We recovered an onside kick. And dude, we can't even put a single point on the board. All right. So we put, and then of course the defense goes out, and like I said at the beginning of the show, I want to get my egg again. I laid an egg in front of everybody. I mean, this team, any team that plays the Green Bay Packers is just, any team that needs a boost of confidence, all they need to do is play the Packers right now. That's how it looks. My boy and I were talking about that yesterday. Colts really needed it. We could have put them under our heel, and we could have sent them spiraling downward, and instead, what do? We give them the game of their season. Tennessee Titans are 4-5 for crying out loud. And wow, we give them the game of their season. Vikings, the best game of the Vikings season. I mean, the one that they would call upon and circle is that hard-fought victory against the Packers at our new stadium. So there's not much we're going to hang our hat on right now. And when you don't have anything to hang your hat on, you got to use another metaphor, you got to go build something. You got to find something to build on. Because they're starting from scratch. And this is what I was sort of meaning to mention earlier on. The one positive that I'm going to say is that sometimes it's when you hit rock bottom that you finally take a hard look in the mirror and make necessary changes. And that's the only hope I have, is that this team, that they have a little come to Jesus meeting. That the coaching staff and the players get together and they say, listen, we need to iron out what's wrong. We need to find some fire on this team. This is a team that beat Washington last year. We are a team that is against the ropes right now. We're spiraling downward. There is nothing about this team that's really pointing up, except that from time to time our offense has shown itself that we are a team that can score points from time to time. They need to do more of that, but this defense has got to get it together. It starts from the top on down. We're not going to get any more players than the ones we have available to us this year. We're not going to get any different coaches, presumably, than the ones we've got right now. And it's time to go out there and the players to execute, the coaches to spend extra time not just spend extra time looking at film. This team has been looking at film since the beginning. They've been talking about how just need to go back to the film, make the corrections, and get better. They haven't done it. The coaching staff needs to motivate the teams. Can you imagine? Just hang with me for a second here. And emoji me your thoughts. Can you imagine what Vince Lombardi would be doing? He's rolling over in his grave right now. Can you imagine what Vince Lombardi would be doing if his team was performing like this right now? Emoji me your thoughts on Vince Lombardi rolling over in his grave, or somebody would be running some freaking wind sprints for hours out there. And they would know that you are going to do this and I am going to beat you into the ground. It's not going to get easier for you. We're not going to rest you up more so that you can be healthy. What we're going to do is we are going to beat you into the ground until you get out there and gut out a win and play at your capability level. We're not putting up with this stuff. This is the man whose name is etched upon the Super Bowl trophy that is given to the best team in the NFL every year. He's rolling over in his grave. Joshua's got push-ups on the sideline. Something would be happening. I mean, he was famous for his wind sprints. We baby these players now because they cost so much money. And it wouldn't, McCarthy has done this sort of punitive benching stuff. It wouldn't be a punitive benching. It would be extra work. You would be putting in extra work. And you would put it in and you would pay the price until you got out there and played to your ability right now. So, all right. Philip is blaming WikiLeaks. Awesome. Peter, players' job on the line. Put players' jobs on the line. Tim's saying, yeah, there's no punishment. All we've done is, here's the thing. From time to time, we've seen McCarthy with this punitive benching, like in the middle of the game. And frankly, man, okay, bench him for like a series and have him freaking running wind sprints on the sideline. I don't care. Get a couple guys out there and have these guys paying with the price with their bodies and thinking, you know what? I just don't even want, I can't do it anymore. Because when you force your body to do what your mind says it can't do, you start to get stronger both mentally and physically. It's time to stop babying these guys. It's time to stop making excuses for them, and it's time to stop talking about watching film. Because anybody can watch the film of this game and see that this team is just subpar. Larry, we need the Ditka mentality. I hate to say that, and we've seen this, how it's really hard for that kind of mentality to survive in today's game. And that's why, I've been in McCarthy's corner to a great extent. The thing that I think he needs is a little edge from time to time. Football is a chess match. There are so many moving parts. It is a chess match out there. It is a thinking man's game. But the guys out there playing it from time to time, if they're going to play it like a thinking man's game, sometimes you just got to get in somebody's face. Henry says it looks like a Mike Sherman team. It's a fairly telling comment. It's a Sherman team with no running back, no Amon Green. So, I think, guys, this has been, I've tried to find some things to be positive about because, number one, the situation in the North is a mess. Nobody's stepping forward, so the opportunity is still there to turn things around. Number two, Aaron Rodgers has been playing better ball. He's been showing some things. And, of course, we need to give a shout-out to Davante Adams in this game, who really had a phenomenal game. Let's check out for a second, just because 6 catches, 156 yards, and a long of 46. I mean, come on. Great job, Davante, man. Just going out there and not making any excuses, getting her done. I love the way this guy has come on, and he didn't wait. He didn't wait for the playoffs because obviously he's seeing that if we don't put our foot on the gas right now, there ain't going to be no playoffs. On the defensive side of the ball, I wish I could think of. Usually I could at least call out Mike Daniels as having a good game. I thought he had a terrible game, honestly. Sean says defense didn't do anything. John is asking, do I get paid for this? No. Pablo's here saying, go Cowboys. Uh-oh, troublemaker. Troublemaker, Pablo. Possible troll alert. Frankly, I think we deserve it because we're not playing well. I mean, it's, guys, it's, this is a put up or shut up league. It's time to field a team that can go out there and play some football for a change. So, thank you, Larry. Donald wants Revis. Interesting. I think a veteran cornerback could be all that we need to one guy that can take away, I was hopefully need to fire up our team. Jacob says, I need to fire up our team. You know what? I may get one together this time around. I may get together a locker room speech for y'all because you guys have been, I appreciate the comments. I would love to have the opportunity right now. And I tell you what, I would be hot. Oh, I would, man, if I had the chance right now, I would bring all the fire of Packer Nation to bear. I promise you. I promise you. But I wouldn't be negative. I would try to pump them up. I wouldn't just be negative. I would try to pump them up because I think we're going to do it. Johnny says you can't run without a running game. And you know, in this game, we didn't even get a chance to see if our running game, if Starks was going to ignite our running game. It looked kind of iffy, but then we had to go away from it so soon that we never had a chance to go back to it. All right, Anthony's got a good comment here. Let's give Anthony a thumbs up right now. If you agree with him, a must-win Sunday. He's got it in all caps. He's putting his foot down. He's drawing a line in the sand. A must-win Sunday. Give Anthony a thumbs up if you agree. I agree. I think the fallout, I mean, for crying out loud, we've lost 3 in a row. We are on a 3-game skid, ladies and gentlemen. If we don't win, number one, I mean, a 4-game losing streak, and we've got another game to play on the road. You know, like I said, when you don't have anything to hang your hat on, you gotta build it. It starts from scratch. It starts with a single W, and that's what we need. So I agree. John is saying, but can we? This is the question. That's a good question. You know, this Washington Reds, it doesn't get any easier, right? I'll answer that question on Friday. We'll have Prediction Friday as usual, and I think we'll start to see some reality setting in. This is a game I truly thought, you know, I said it, this was not going to be a walk in the park. And I said that this Washington this Titans team, I can't see them not scoring points on our defense, and that was true to the nth degree. However, I didn't expect, you know, then we start out the game recovering the onside. I thought we were going to click on offense. We did from time to time, but this is the story of our lives, of our offensive lives right now. So we need to start changing that. We need to start scoring consistently. One of the things I think we're going to need, and to go to the comment of the running game, we're going to need, you know, if we can't get the running game going, we're going to be doing this hurry up thing, which has been somewhat successful. But then we're putting, you know, you score that fast, you're putting your defense on the field, and there they go again. As soon as they're not playing well when they aren't tired, when they're fresh. Just imagine how bad they're going to play when they're tired. So a little ball control, and we actually won the time of possession in this game, if I'm not mistaken. But little ball control may become very important, not just for our offense. You know, I would be okay with us scoring in this low 20s if we controlled the ball doing it and kept our defense off the field more and kept their offense off the field more. Tyson saying bad O-line plus no D pressure plus terrible secondary equals no Super Bowl. Wow, yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that at this point. And the offensive line, I mean, the offensive line had been the strength of this team. They were the strength, but now they're falling apart with injuries as well. I mean, decimated at this point. You only got, you know, your 5 guys there. Center's gone, Treader's gone, now we got Bakhtiari's gone, Lang's gone, our 2 best players. In fact, Treader was probably our best offensive lineman. He's gone. Bakhtiari gone. Didn't have that great of a game, but still, you're going to need this guy. Lang, looks like it might be bad, guys. And Jerry is saying, Crosby, isn't he? We can't even hit an extra point, for crying out loud. One of the most consistent players we have right now is Jacob Schum. Oh man, what a horrible thing to have to say out loud. I'm sorry, guys and dolls of Packer Nation, but it's not a great situation. So I'm going to wrap it up, though, guys, because, and hey, by the way, this is my solace in this whole thing. Even if your Packers lose, you can still win, guys. If you haven't gone to firefan.com, get on right now and get in. It's because the game is coming out over Thanksgiving. And we're going to have a heck of a time. We are going to blow the doors off it because we're going to put together a league. This week, you guys are going to name it. Somebody out there is going to come up with the name for the league. It's going to be a blast. And even if the Packers lose, you guys can still win because you're going to get credit for making all the coaching calls that you've been making right for so many years. And now, finally, you're going to have a free sports app to track it for you. You can play for free as well. You can, there's options to, buy tokens and play, to interact with, it's the same thing with all of these games. But get on firefan.com and you put in the code GETTHERING. You will not, and remember, only one person's going to win the Precious. But everyone who plays is going to be playing for something, because there will be lifetime achievement of points that are going to get you cool Packer stuff. Because even when the team loses, we're still fans. And we're going to watch those games. We can't stay away from the games. This game was an embarrassment. It was painful to watch, but I couldn't look away. It was like a train wreck. But this game is going to help. So go to firefan.com and put in Get the Ring. That's the code. And you only have like a week left to get in. And you'll get 12 free tokens to start off and give it a try. Have some fun. As soon as the game comes out, the deal goes off the table. You guys are in before anyone even knows this thing exists right now. Although it's big. This is big. There are hundreds in Packer Nation. It needs to be bigger. We need thousands of Packer Nation in our league to be playing for the Precious, because I want Packer Nation to be well represented. And so you just go to firefan.com, and it'll just have, you put in the code, it'll ask you what your favorite sports are, because there are going to be more sports, more games to be played. It is going to be a blast. You're going to be playing against me. And you're going to someone out there is going to pry the Precious out of my hands. Not only that, but get to rip on me about it. Jeez, I can't believe I offered that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And this is the one thing, I so wish the game was out for this game. Because I could have gone back and I could have said, to everybody out there, did we not say, we need to make this call, we need to make that call. And get some freaking credit for a change, why not? All right, Hector is asking, Hector, you go to firefan.com, it's the name of the game. Our league is not going to have that lame-o name, we're going to have an awesome Packer name. Just kidding. I actually love the name of the game because it's fans on fire, right? It's pretty cool. But you go to firefan.com, and then the code is Get the Ring, all one word. It's not sensitive, just Get the Ring, all one word. I saw the feed I think a lot of people are jumping on. So I saw the feed break up, so I'm going to repeat it, okay? So it's firefan.com right now. Now, remember, this is an app, so later on, you're just going to go to the Play Store and get it, but it's not there yet. So that's why you're getting it from me, because no one knows about it. However, there are about 500,000 people now that are going to be waiting and chomping at the bit to get this game. So you are in the know in this sense. Firefan.com, and it'll just have a football helmet dude. You put in Get the Ring, all one word, no spaces. Caps don't matter. It's not case sensitive. And you're welcome, Hector, and I appreciate you guys jump on. It's going to be so much fun. Browen, you are in. If you fill out the form, one thing I'm noticing, it doesn't seem that because you don't get the game right now, but you'll get alerted when it's out. Okay, so if you fill out the form, you're good to go. If you have any problem, you shouldn't have a problem, frankly. Okay, all right. Luke's we got some closing comments here. Time of possession is overrated. The only reason the Packers always win that stat is because the defense gives up big plays. Yeah, because if our defense gets stopped and they score in 30 seconds, it evens out the time of possession, because our offense, it certainly isn't scoring in 30 seconds. So point taken. Yeah, we got lots of suggestions as to who Packer Nation could pick up right now. And it's frankly, like, there's no Packer, like, it's so sad, because, like, we don't even have pride in who we're choosing anymore. It just, I mean, I think Packer would be desperate enough. Let's just get Ndamukong Suh. I don't care. Randy Moss types that we would never, even if we were playing up to any potential whatsoever, we would never want these guys. We would never want them to see these guys in green and gold. But now we're so desperate that, holy smokes, we'll take anybody. Overhaul is needed. Yeah, I'm getting there. Billy is calling for Cromartie out there. Phil wants Janice to switch to defense. At least he can tackle. Although somebody, all right, Larry has enough pride to say, no, not Sue. JJ says, no surprise if the Lions win the North, and I'm right there with you. Yep. Wow. Joshua always wanted Moss or Ocho Cinco. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. We got another call for Jordan Lynch. No. Love my Packers. Don't love how they are playing. Exactly. It's a good way to sum up today's show, and I'm not going to go much longer because, hey, we love the Packers. We don't love how they're playing. All right? Tyson says we can't afford Sue, and he's not. He's done nothing. You knew he was, as soon as he signed his big contract, he was going to do nothing but do a lot of talk in the locker room is all he does. So, folks, go on firefan.com, jump on the game so you can have something to win. Even when the Packers are losing, you're going to be building up lifetime achievement points. You get these, it's basically loyalty rewards. You buy 6 subs at Subway, you get one for free. You're going to get stuff like that, but it's good stuff. It's T-shirts, but then it's also electronics. There's even talk. You can save up and get a brand new car. That's what it's like. So cool. I will have the form up for you guys to tell me what you think the name of our league, the GPN league, should be. I want to let you guys choose that. I will inform. I'm almost certain that there are going to be some snarky comments on that form about names because the Packers are not playing well. Those will not be considered. I just want to let you know because this is a name we're going to have to live with for a long time. So, all right, folks. Well, I will let you go. It's Monday. Not a great Monday in Packer Nation. Packers losing 3 in a row. Looking to get their feet back under them against Washington come this Sunday night game. So they've got a little extra time to take a long look in the mirror. And hopefully we don't lay an egg like we did against the Titans, guys. Well, I do hope that you have a good day, even though it's Monday. I thank you so much for hanging in there. And we're all Packer fans. We all love this team. And for right now, you can throw up a heart. If you love your Packers, it doesn't mean you like what they're doing. It doesn't mean we think that they're playing well. But we love this team. And that's part of the reason we get disappointed when they don't play well. So this is a Packers team that has got a lot, they've got still have a lot of games in front of them, but they're starting to run out of time here pretty quick. So it's time to start righting the ship, or frankly, time is going to run out on these guys here pretty quick. So I hope you have a great Monday. If you're watching this on YouTube and you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, that would be fantastic, or just hit the like button as well would be good. And all of you Facebook awesomeness people out there, all the guys and dolls of Packer Nation who jumped on Monday, I hope you got your opinion kind of out there. Even if I didn't read it, at least you got a chance to type it up, got a chance to interact. It's been great talking with you today, and I hope you have a fantastic Monday. And win, lose, or draw, go Pack. Get the ring.